my name is Kayla Shepheard.
My name is Hollis Simmons, and today we're going to be interviewing a former Scotlandville student.
Okay, can you state your name and what year you graduated from Scotlandville?
My name is Wanda. That's my maiden name, and I graduated from Scotlandville High in 1974.
What do you think is the biggest change from when you went to Scotlandville and now?
I think the biggest change is there's more focus on education instead of sports. I mean, sports is there, but education is bigger. Not that it wasn't big when I was going there. You know, when you're a teenager going to high school, you ain't thinking about no education. You just want to have a little fun, get a little something in your head, and the rest is fun. But basically, my daughter graduated from Scotlandville as well. So when she was there, I noticed how the focus had really zeroed in on academics. And that's what I appreciate now that I didn't appreciate then.
And did you live in the community?
Yes, I did. That was the only way we could go to Scotlandville, really.
And how was it growing up there? Here?
Well, growing up here, to me, it wasn't that bad. Of course, as you know, in all communities, you have good and bad. It just depends on what you choose to follow. I wasn't a bad person. I didn't get off into the drugs and all of that stuff. You know, I mean, it was going on then. It's going on now. No matter what school you go to, there are drugs. There are cliques and games, or however you want to put it. In our area, they call them games. In other areas, they call them cliques. But it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it was there. And I had people who pretty much thought the way that I thought that I hung out with. So it's pretty much the same. The only thing is, people today don't really care who see what they do. Back then, we had a little more respect for the adults.
And what about the discipline? How was the discipline in Scotlandville?
Well, I really can't attest to the discipline because I never really got in trouble. So I don't know what punishment they really handed down, other than I know if you miss too many days from school, you get put out. That's the same thing going on today. If you miss too many days during the year, you're going to be expelled. Or if you, like today, they have a low tolerance for fighting. Back then, if you fought, you may have gotten expelled. Or if somebody else started it and you defended yourself, then the person who started it was expelled. Today, there's zero tolerance. Somebody hit you, you hit them back, you both gone.
What activities did you participate in?
I was an inside person. So I mostly did stuff like choir. I did mostly like home ec kind of stuff, cooking and sewing and all of that stuff. I did that. But my biggest part was the choir. I loved to sing back then. So that's what I did.
And were you at Scotlandville during the Civil Rights Movement?
No. Civil rights had come and gone. Okay, dead air.
How was it growing up in the community?
Nice, that I really don't. How was homecoming and stuff like that?
Homecoming was the bomb.
How did they campaign and stuff?
Well, pretty much what y'all do today, only on a I would say, I would hate to say a lower level, but it has to be, well, I'm gonna say for our period of time, it was great. It was, I mean, the level was there. You had your king, I mean, your queens, your Miss Scotlandville. You know, they did all kind of little campaigns with their names. They passed out buttons, which I don't know if they do that today.
Yes, ma'am.
But they passed out buttons. They had rallies in the square. Like the whoever was campaigning, they would have to go to the office, get permission to have during their lunch period. Not both of them, but whatever lunch period they ate. We had 2 lunch periods, you know. So they would go in the square and they would basically get on their soapbox and say, I'm whoever and I'm running for Miss Scotlandville, and these are the things that I'm going to try to attain while I am Miss Scotlandville. This is how I will represent our school and all like that. So it's basically the same thing. And you see all the posters decorated all down the halls and stuff with the different candidates.
Were you there when the Scotlandville fire happened?
No, I wasn't.
No.
And what was...
That was after me.
After.
Mm-hmm.
How many classes y'all had?
We had 7.
7? Oh, that's still... Well,
How would you describe the principal at the time?
Of course, I was a teenager, so I thought everybody in authority was mean. And I thought he was mean at the time. There were a few teachers, as any student, you have a few teachers that you attach yourself to that I think it's because they take out more time with you than everybody else. Most teachers are, this is what we have to do today, let's get on it. I don't have time to favor nobody, you need to get this. But you do have those who have a mothering instinct, and you get drawn to that. And so I had a few teachers, don't ask me to call names because Kate, I don't remember. I had a few teachers that I was drawn to, but I was the type of student that I was basically a loner. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there were a few people that I hung with, rather. That's the right word, hung. Make sure you edit all this out. But there were a few people that I hung with, but if those people weren't around, like if we got separated on lunch periods or whatever, then most of the time, I tell you what I did do though. When lunchtime came, I would save up my lunch tokens, because I ate on the free lunch program. Most of the time I didn't want to eat what was in the cafeteria. I would save up my lunch tokens and sell them. Yeah. So that was the way I made a little pocket change. But then as I got older, I had started working part-time like most students do. You get a part-time job, get that money in that pocket because you need it, because your parents can only do so much.
Did y'all have senior activities like your senior year?
Yes, they did. But I didn't participate. Like y'all escaped the school. We couldn't do that.
Skip.
Yeah, we couldn't have senior skip that.
And what was graduation like?
Graduation for me, it was scary, exciting, all of those emotions that you have when you graduating, but most of all, I was at ease because I was getting out of school and I was so glad to be getting out. I want to say this to all of those students who will see this. Don't take your education for granted. Because if I had put more effort into my education, I could have been much further than where I am. Now don't think that I don't appreciate where I am, because where I am is doing what I needed to do, but I know within myself I could have done better. Back then I didn't have encouragement to say you are better than this, you can do better than this, or I'm not going to allow you to fall below a certain level because I know you have it in you. I didn't have that. So all of the students who watch this, I want them to know that education is key to everything you do, and especially when you are a black person. You can have a master's degree, but there are those out there who feel like you may have a master's, but you still ain't good enough, and you got to be 10 times better than others, even though you know you are better. So I'm just saying, this is from the heart. Whoever watches this, please don't take your education for granted. Not everybody gets the education we get. Some people have to really struggle to get to school. In other countries, there are people who want to go to school, who want to consume books, and we have books all around us, and we choose to ignore them. So I hope that you all who are in school will take your education and hold on to it and treasure it as something very dear. Because not everybody gets an opportunity. Okay, now go ahead with your questions.
How'd you feel when the Scotlandville changed from Hollis to the Eagles?
Well, I felt like a part of me was gone. And I know everything changes, but what I couldn't understand was, how is it that every other high school gets to keep their mascot
Yes,
and their name, and we lose ours? And I felt like outsiders were coming in, changing things. But I also knew that because of the change, our children will have access to stuff that they may not ordinarily have access to, would cause it would be hard for them to have access to it. Like if like computers and stuff like that, I know it's common for everybody to have a computer these days, but not everybody has a computer. And because of the change, students got access to it. You know, I didn't like the way it happened. And I didn't like because of the fact that Scotlandville was becoming integrated high school. Now you can put monies into it, but then you're gonna take away our name. You know, that's not good. That was not good at all. And my daughter graduated in Eagle. When they announced they were changing the name back to the Hornets, my daughter said, "I'm an Eagle and I'm gonna always be an Eagle." I said, "Baby, I ain't mad because you're an Eagle, but you'll never be a Hornet. You can't never be one. I'm glad you were an Eagle. You graduated in Eagle. I was stomping blue and silver because you was in blue and silver, but I stomped gold and white or black and gold because we wore black and gold, but the colors were really gold and white when we were there. But we wore black, gold, and white because that's the color of a Hornet. We stomped that hard. I said, I stomped blue when you was blue, but I stomped black and gold and white when I was that color. And every time we went to a game, especially homecoming, I had one gold sock, one white sock with black socks underneath. That's what I wore. I had a black tennis shoe and a white tennis shoe. That's what I mean when I mean I stomped it hard. When we went to a homecoming, I was crazy. I was truly crazy, but I enjoyed myself. And you asked me a question about, like, when senior year, you know, when you have your senior skip day, we had, like y'all have 70s day, we had crazy day. I went to school with a red wig. I had on one heel, one tennis shoe, and socks. I had fishnet stockings on one side, and I had a pair of socks on the other side. And I had them rolled down like body socks. So, you know, that's the kind of fun we had. We couldn't leave that camp. We got the camp. The police come get us. So we couldn't leave the campus. And it was very few students who had cars. Like today, a lot of students have cars. It was very, very few students who had cars. Our only escape was the city bus. So we wasn't leaving no school trying to catch the bus. But because I remember that was a burger joint on the corner, like on the side street where you go around to park. There was a burger joint on that corner. And like the students would eat in the cafeteria. We would sneak off the campus and go to the burger joint. How about the principal come in there and say, "Everybody in here, back on campus and in my office." So that's what I'm saying. We couldn't leave that campus. We would get in much trouble, much trouble. Any more questions?
No, ma'am. We want to thank you for letting us
Oh,
interview
you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope this does good. I hope y'all get an A.
Well,
I really
do.
I really
hope
do.
so.
I really do. Y'all caught me good. Because see, if this had been a weekday, I'd been looking crazy. I've been looking worse than what I look now. See, this is my off day. Y'all have to forgive me. I should have put on some clothes, especially when you say you was going to record this.
Oh, it's fine.
But this